Good day, emerging mothers. Good day, good day, good day to all of you. Listen, I decided to just slide in for just a bit. Of course, we're in our Facebook group live, and then also we're on Instagram as well. And I wanted to just slide your direction because I know that spring break is quickly approaching, and your teens may or may not be home, but allow me to encourage you to still practice your strategies in reference to parenting at a distance, because at some point those who are visiting, they will go back to the college campus, and then for those of you who your college teens will overlook coming home at all, then guess what, you still can practice these principles. So when we talk about, of course, parenting at a distance, allow me to encourage you to do three things. The first thing that I would encourage you to do is continue to provide that unconditional emotional safety. And what I mean by unconditional emotional safety is to please make sure that you're holding yourself, or rather holding space within yourself for your teen to be their authentic selves. You know, I know sometimes we expect our teens to know more than what they may actually know. After all, the brain has yet to develop, and the brain will be fully developed at the age of 25. And is that the normal age for our teens? Well, that's typically between 18 and 23 when they're in college. And so please allow that space for them to be their authentic selves. And then also, if they come home or if they remain on the college campus, allow them to make good decisions on their own as much as possible. And one thing I know that we're able to do as parents is we're able to demonstrate good decision-making skills. So allow them to just hear us think out loud regarding, you know, what the problem is that maybe we're facing, and then allow them to hear us kind of talk about the pros and cons of that problem. And then as we're, you know, processing or utilizing the process of elimination, then we're picking the choice that's best as it pertains to that particular problem, and then we're taking action after that. So if we demonstrate good problem solving skills, then guess what, they will as well. Also, if they happen to come home, or even if they stay on the college campus, I think, you know, it just makes for a good relationship when we reduce our tone of accusing. You know, I know sometimes we, you know, as parents, we expect a lot out of them, and you know, whether something gets done or something does not get done, then what we do is we can jump right on that accusatory stage, when in essence, guess what, if we inquire about it and allow them to reveal, then it could cause for a smoother communication between you and your teen. So please, allow there to be that space, if you will, and then also, if you will, make sure that you're modeling good decision making, and then inquiring as opposed to accusing, then I know that will make a world of difference. So listen, that's number one. So secondly, something that I think would be advantageous if we were to make sure that we're effectively parenting at a distance is to voluntarily begin shifting in our role from that of a caretaker to that of a coach. This is very important. It's important because once we're able to accept that in our minds, then of course our teens will begin to see us as such. Because a lot of times, of course, especially before they left the house, they probably seen us as a cop. I wanted to say caretaker to coach because it just sounds nicer, but really some of us were cops. And we were all over the situation and checking in, making sure that they were checking in and following up, and we were we are the best investigators. So with that being said, as they have begun to consume this freedom that they now have because they're on the college campus, then it would be good for us to begin shifting our mindset to that of from a caretaker, allowing them to do things on their own, to that of a coach. And in our conversations with our team, something that will help in that shift is, as we're communicating with our team, you know what, it's okay to normalize failure. Because you know what, a lot of times we demonstrate that we're perfect. And so then they see us as perfect. And they think that no one is going through what they're going through. So if they see us in a light other than that we've failed as well, then are they quick to come to us when they're facing a problem? I'm thinking that they are quick to go to someone else who is open and transparent about their failures. You know, I've found myself telling, my daughters about things that I have done wrong, just so that they can feel comfortable and know that they're not alone. When I first entered into the investment industry, there's all of the Series 7 and the Series 63. I mentioned to my daughters, I failed that Series 7 the first time. And then I straightened up and strengthened my spine and went back and took it again and passed that Series 7, and then the Series 63, and then the Series 24, which allowed me to oversee and manage and supervise Series 7, those investment representatives, and then the Series 31 that allowed me to trade orange juice, cattle, and hay, and then the Series 53, which focused on municipal bonds. And so, but it's good that they have some company when they have failed at something. It's good to have someone come alongside you and say, listen, I know how you're feeling. Guess what? I remember when I failed back in whatever year doing whatever task or trying to complete whatever task. It's just good to know that the people around you are not perfect. And those people who we're able to really talk to are those people who are able to relate to us. So that number 2, in reference to, of course, making sure that we're shifting from that of a caretaker to a coach. And then last but not least, how about in this parenting at a distance, we utilize social media and those tools that we have in order to keep in contact with our teen? I think that is invaluable. And that's important because, of course, we're seeking connection. It's almost like a fine line, and we're walking a tightrope because we're seeking connection, but by all intents and purposes, we're also allowing interdependence as well. So we want to be right there in the middle. And I would recommend connecting with your teen at least once a week. I mean, like, we have family meetings on Saturday mornings at 7 a.m. Like, what was last week like? How did things go? What's taking place on your job? Are you up for a promotion? Are you, getting along and interacting well with your colleagues? What's coming up this week? What do you have on your plate? Is there anything that's stressful? Can we help in any way? How can we support you? I mean, by the time we finish talking about and going through all 5 of us, what our week is like and what we have forthcoming and who's going to be picking up and dropping off, those who don't drive and all of those things, by golly, that is about 60 minutes. And when we're planning trips for the summer and our vacations and all of those, what are our goals and how close are we to our goals, and how can another family member inspire you forward to make sure that you have on your blinders and you're operating in silence and actually moving forward to achieve those goals. So listen, all of that takes place on Saturday morning within our family at 7 a.m. And I would encourage you at some point in time during the week, it's very, very good to connect, to talk about, just our calendars in sync. All of those different things. What are our finances looking like? What bills are outstanding? Are we behind in anything? Are we, what things did we pay off? And what about those credit scores. Listen, all of that, all of those things are good discussion topics to touch base with, just to make sure everyone is working in concert with one another. It's so important. So I would encourage you to just do those necessary things to make sure that your parenting at a distance is at the highest level possible. I will be, oh my goodness, I'm so excited about Thursday, April the 13th. I will be facilitating, or rather hosting, a webinar. And the webinar will be related to a question that we mothers ask ourselves all the time, like, who am I now? Graduation is right around the corner, and so some of you, your teens will be going off for the very first time, and many mothers are asking themselves, now, who am I? Where am I going? What am I doing? Those are questions that we can totally answer for you in that webinar, on that webinar call. So mark your calendars. You will see information as it pertains to that webinar upcoming, and I look forward to seeing all of you all there. Listen, I love you all so very much, and I appreciate you tuning in. Take care, and I'll see you next week at the same time. Toodles.